Hello, my name is Andy. I am the Brit in Hungary, and today I is in Rhodes. Yes. So one of the many great things about the European Union is this thing called Erasmus Plus. Yeah, and we're here. The first part of this trip is funded by Erasmus. It's a training course that we've come to, and this one's about life competencies, the 4 C's, which is something I'm quite passionate about, actually. So yeah, as a society, in some ways we're getting clever. I mean, everybody's got a degree these days, but at the same time we're getting dumber in a lot of ways. We've lost like the basic life skills, collaboration, communication, creativity, and especially critical thinking. We're just becoming a species of people trapped in sort of like the kindergarten stage of our lives. Anyway, this is Rhodes Harbour, and this is the site, allegedly, of the Colossus of Rhodes, which stood astride the harbour, where those 2 pillars are with animals on the top, deer. So we're going to spend 5 days here while the course is on. Then once the course is finished, we've got a few days in a slightly posher hotel with a pool and stuff. And then we're taking an overnight ferry to Santorini, and we're going to spend a few days on Santorini. So we've the usual thing. We've had the Erasmus course, and then we're tagging a little bit of a holiday on to the end of it. I keep having flashbacks of those awful couple of days we spent in Marrakesh when I see these bazaars. Oh my god. Yeah, following up on yesterday's video, it's quite amusing. I did the classic tourist thing yesterday. I went straight to the harbour and found the place, where the Colossus of Rhodes was, allegedly. And I found out that, all the locals know that actually it wasn't just there, it was somewhere else. And it never stood astride the harbour, like legend has it as well. I completely fell for that one. Now apparently what do they call them? Experimental archaeologists. They've tried to recreate the statue, and it was 40 cubits high according to the records, which is 33 metres, 100 feet. And to actually, back then, from an engineering and stonemasonry kind of point of view, it's actually impossible to build that statue with its legs that far apart and be structurally sound, if you know what I mean. So it was actually, from an engineering point of view, it was actually impossible back then to build a statue like that. So it was just like a big statue that stood by the harbour somewhere. I'll tell you something that's really funny, and British viewers may be a little bit offended at this, because I sort of travel as a Hungarian, and my documents are in Hungarian, and when people say where are you from, I say I'm from Hungary. People don't suspect that I'm a Brit, and because they don't suspect I'm a Brit, it's quite refreshing and quite disturbing when people start opening up and being honest about what they really think about British people. Yeah, it's left me very disappointed occasionally what people have said about my country and my countrymen. Yeah, I sometimes get busted because of my English. People say to me, "Oh, your English is very good." And I say, "Well, yeah, it's because I'm an English teacher." And they say, "Ah, yes, of course." Yeah, I don't know if the Brexit thing caused like extra resentment, but this kind of started, the first time I noticed it was when I went to Malta and I got in a taxi. And the taxi driver, he said, "Where you're from, Hungary, etc. Your English is very good, etc." Yeah. And then, he started talking about the Brits and slagging the Brits off. And he was especially talking about the Brits and the British Empire. And he said, "Oh yeah, they were bastards, but at least they were a bit kinder to us than they were like everywhere else in the world. So that's something, I suppose." Yeah, and that kind of makes you think. And then I was in Tenerife last year, and I met somebody, and they thought I was Hungarian, and they let their guard down, and they were talking about the fucking Brits. And they come here with the football t-shirts on, fucking hooligans, you treat us like shit and everything. And I said, "Oh yeah, mate, yeah, they're terrible, those Brits, aren't they?" Yeah. And then it's happened again here recently. Talking to some Greek people, and they were slagging off the British hooligans and how they wish they didn't come here anymore because they've had enough of them, And it just makes you feel really ashamed. But at the same time, it's a real shock that people think, we don't think we're like that, but that's how other people see us. And I don't know, it's really, really upsetting actually. Yeah, it's not nice. I mean, I've been a Brit I lived in Britain, I should say, for 47 of my 53 years. So it's really, really sad. So we're at the other end of the town. This is the new town, I suppose. It's full of like karaoke bars and fish and chips and stuff. And surprise, surprise, everything is half price. And the best news is, look who I found. Yeah, brilliant. Nice. We is on the beach. And we have beer. Where is it? So this is our gaff for the next few days. It's bloody fab actually. It's really good. Right in the centre of the action. Thoroughly recommend. 10 out of 10. Culture day today. We're on a class trip. The Archaeological Museum of Rhodes. Let's give this a bash. I think the most amazing thing is that some bloke has spent thousands of hours gluing these all back together. The tour continues, and you might have noticed that everybody's hugging the shadows. That southern European heat wave that everyone's been talking about. Well, this is it today. It's in the 40s and everybody's absolutely cooking. And there's one British idiot who's walking in the sunshine. Who could that be?
It's a very beautiful, very beautiful.
hungry work, this cultural sightseeing stuff. And my ridiculous beer. Awesome. Had a lovely day yesterday. That was really, really good. One terrible thing happened. I don't know if any continuity geeks might be able to tell something a bit different about me today. Yes, I'm afraid it's true. My faithful sunglasses I've had for about 3 million years broke yesterday. So I had to buy some Oakleys. They're very cheap Oakleys, they're only €5. Yeah, I haven't actually talked about this, but the last couple of weeks before we came away, we've had an absolutely dreadful time with customers. Not at the school, they're all lovely, but at the rooms we rent out, at our apartments. For some reason, we've had like an epidemic of really shouty, horrible, vile people. Some of whom we've actually had to call the police on to leave the premises, because I have absolutely zero tolerance. I don't mind if people have problems, but I will not tolerate being shouted at and being sworn at. It's just a basic piece of human socialisation. Yeah, and our nerves are just shredded. And yeah, it took us a few days of chilling out to recover. We sat on the beach till really late last night, and there was several things that happened that restore your faith in your fellow humans and human nature. The first one, there was a lady with a really little baby in arms, and they were paddling in the sea, and just a big freak wave came and knocked them off their feet, and the baby was like scrambling around in the surf, and everybody just jumped off the feet and headed straight to the baby and tried to help the baby and the mum. And the second thing was a little bit later. There was an old guy, a really, really disabled guy. He was having a real job walking on the beach. He couldn't walk very well. I don't know if he had a stroke or something. And he couldn't stand up. And he had two big long sticks. And again, a handful of people saw him trying to get up, and they rushed over to help him. And one of them carried his bag, and they helped him to his feet and walked him off the beach. And again, just lovely human spirit, really. I mean, we are a nice species. We do look out for each other mainly, but there are just a handful of people. They're just vile, really. Everybody has a bad day, but we should be nice to each other. So, Friday, moving day. Going to our posh hotel today. Well, posher. With a pool. Yes. Incredibly hot yesterday, and I was walking around at lunchtime, and I had a bit of a funny turn, like old people do, and I wondered what the hell was going on. And I got home, had a bit of a lie down, and I started googling, and I think I probably had like heat stroke or heat exhaustion or something. I felt really, really odd. Anyway, I had the afternoon and the evening in bed and sort of drank plenty. Tried to stay cool, and I'm absolutely fine this morning. So anyway, nurse says that today I've got to stay out the sun and drink plenty, which sounds like a perfect excuse for sitting in the pub all day. Oh, okay. Saturday, up nice and early today. We're going on a trip. I've not been 100% the last couple of days. I've had a really sort of dodgy stomach and felt a bit weird. And my thing about heat exhaustion, heat stroke, I don't think it was true. I think I've got some sort of deadly Greek virus of some kind. But I'm feeling a bit better today. Okay, this is our wheels for the day.
But everybody's different because
So this is Lindos. The tour guide has informed us that this was one of the shooting locations for the Guns of Navarone. Fancy that. So I'm leaving Kitty down here in the village, and I'm going to go up to the top of the mountain to the Acropolis. She doesn't want to mess her back up. She had a back operation in October, and we've got a lot of walking to do on Santorini, so she's going to stay here and chill, and I'm going to go up the mountain. It's just rammed, absolutely rammed full of people. Apparently the Greek government have ordered all the archaeological sites to be closed between 12 and 5 because of the heat wave, the excess heat. It's going to be around 42 again today, and they don't want people sort of dropping dead at the heat. There's a really strong smell of smoke in the air, and on the mountains in the forest behind me, apparently there's a massive forest fire. It's the biggest there's ever been. And the best part is, in the bay here, there's a couple of yellow tankers, look like Canadair tankers, and every 10 minutes or so they're swooping into the bay, scooping up water from the sea, and then getting back to the fire. They're due back any minute. I'll see if I can film them. It's quite spectacular. Right, well, that's it. That's as close as I'm going to get. I'm not going to the top because it's 12 euros to get in. But the worst part is there's a massive queue, and there's so many people up there. They're all like rammed in shoulder to shoulder, and it's 40 odd degrees, and I don't really want to see a load of old rocks that much in particular. So yeah, I think I'll just stay here for a bit and watch the aeroplanes. Yeah, actually, there is a bit of a Guns of Navarone kind of vibe about the place, I suppose.
And it was the Guns of Navarone!
Yeah, very spectacular. Awesome. I think I managed to find a bit of a shortcut down to the beach. Yeah, the smell of smoke is really, really strong. I've just heard that they've had to start evacuating villages. The fire's getting really bad and really out of control. That's I've just this second had a text alert, like a national emergency warning of people in certain areas downwind of the fire to evacuate immediately. It's still about 20 kilometres away, but that's not a cloud, that is smoke from the fire. That's quite funny. Just after I finished filming the smoke, an old fella came up to me and says, "Don't look so worried." He said, "This is Lindos, it's just rocks, there's nothing here to burn." And I said, "Oh, thanks mate." Yeah, the heat wave is good news for the donkeys too, because they've been given the day off because it's too hot for them to work. So they're chilling out as well. Is it me or is that getting worse? Yeah, right, here we go then, another horrendous, hideous tourist trap rip-off. It's so frustrating that there's so many flying around, you just can't possibly track them all. Oh my god, there we go. Woo. There we go. Woo. So top final day on Rhodes today, and so we're having a massive Greek blowout. Yes. Good morning, it's Sunday. It's well, Sunday morning, yeah, it's our last day on Rhodes, and it's probably a really good time to leave actually, because the fire I was being a bit sort of jokey and glib about yesterday has actually got really, really serious, and there's mass villages being vacated now, evacuated. And yeah, and there's firefighters coming from all over Europe to try and contain it, but it's massively out of control. Yeah, so we're on the island for about another 2 hours, and I think it's a really good time to leave because it's going to start to cause transport problems and things. And we're leaving by boat, we're not going on an aeroplane. So yeah, it's nice to be leaving, but I feel a bit sorry for all the people that are going to be sort of stuck here, trapped here, and especially the the inhabitants of the island. It looks really, really bad. It looks like the whole south of the island is going to be burnt out. It looks like. So yes, yeah. So yeah, we're off in a couple of hours on our boat. So yeah, even my mum's worried. My mum texted me to say, "Are you okay?" in the fires. Yeah. So anyway, we're off. Yeah, just on our way to the ferry port. We think we can see the boat. Yeah. It's going to be roasting hot today. There's no wind. It's not as windy as it has been, which is sort of bad news for the tourists, but it's going to be really good news for the firefighters, I imagine. They should be able to get a bit of a grip on that today, hopefully. So yeah, fingers crossed. There's our little boatie. Whew. At least it's the Blue Star, not the White Star line. That'd fit well with our disaster tourism trip so far. But look at this whopper. Blimey. Personally, that's my idea of hell. I don't know why you'd pay to go on a holiday on one of those things, but oh well, each to his own. Oh, Jack, paint me like one of your French girls. Excellent. Woohoo! Full steam ahead, Captain. Wow. Okay, goodbye Rhodes, and good luck.